So in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a video lesson using PowerPoint, and then how to use that video lesson to set an assignment on Teams. The first part will be adding screencasts in PowerPoint. So this is always useful to talk pupils through worksheets or examples or anything you've got on Word or PowerPoint or on the internet. And I'm going to start by showing you one of my examples. So I've just built a basic PowerPoint here, showing through step by step, a couple of examples, and then I get to a point where I actually need to show the pupils a Word document, which I'm going to upload for them. So I'm going to use screencasting to do that. First off, you need to go to Insert and then Screen Recording. From there, you can select the area of the screen you need. For this, I'm using all of the screen. And then you can open up whatever you need to show the pupils. In this case, it's a Word document with images. I can then toggle the audio on and off, so I might want narration, I might not. In this case, I don't. And once I've selected that, I can then click Record. From this point, it'll now record whatever I show on the screen. With this, I'm just scrolling through the document to give them an example, but you could use it for anything. When you're done, you can just hover at the top and click Stop. That puts it automatically into PowerPoint. You can then click the button at the bottom left, the play button, and that'll show you what you've recorded. Now, in mine, I wanted a second one, and I wanted to use that to show them how they submit their work. So I was going to show them an example on Teams of how they log in and how they submit their work. Follows the same steps. I then go to my blank page, I click Insert, and then I go to Screen Recording. Again, I select the area, whole screen. Then I can close down anything I don't want in this video, so I want to start with a blank screen, and then I can click Record. So I've sped this process up, but it basically shows them how to log in through the website, how to get onto Teams, and where to find their assignments. It also then shows them how to upload those assignments so that I can see them through my assignments page. There's a more detailed version of this at the end of the video. When I'm done, I click Stop at the top. It puts it automatically into my PowerPoint, and it's there ready for when I view the PowerPoint so that I can click play. So the next part is actually using myself to narrate the whole PowerPoint and then turn it into a video. Now that my PowerPoint is set up with all my screencasts, I can go to Slide View, Record Slideshow, and Record from Beginning. This then brings up the recording screen. In the bottom right hand corner, you can toggle on and off the video or the audio. Now you can do this without video, but for the purpose of this demonstration, I've done it with a video as well. When I'm happy, I can click Record in the top left hand corner and it gives me a countdown. Hello everyone and welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to be looking at mixed media. As this is a live recording, I didn't want to click the mouse, so I just used the keypad to go from one slide to the next as I've read through it. And what PowerPoint does is it actually saves each video clip to the slide. So there's separate video clips for each slide, even though it seems like I'm talking through the whole thing step by step. I think it should be a little bit more than that. So I've said that this could also include drawing, painting, other art materials such as oil pastel or charcoal if you have them. You could use stitching by stitching into paper. You could use origami. Now this part is quite difficult because obviously I'm reading through my PowerPoint as I go and it's easy to make mistakes. So I'm slowly trying to read through it, but plenty of times have I made mistakes and I've needed to go back and I've needed to delete something. So if that happens, it's quite easy to do because you can just re-record the slide that you were on. So this is an example of one of my many mistakes. Firstly, if you log into Teams, you can access the Success Criteria rubric, which shows you the different levels of achievement. So that's what you need to do to get it good, what you need to do to make sure your work is excellent. You can use Google and you can look up different artists, other collages. You can use those ideas for your own work and you can just try out little bits from each one. At this point, I make a mistake. So when I make the mistake, I just go to Stop in the top left-hand corner and then close the screen. I then go to the slide I made the mistake on. I need to go to Record Slideshow then at the top. Go down to the drop down and clear timing on current slide and then do it again and clear narration on the current slide. This deletes all the narration for that one. I then go back to record slideshow and I'm ready to start again. So what do you need to do for help or guidance? If you want something extra, there's a few things. Firstly, you can log into Teams. In Teams, you can access the success criteria rubric, which will show you what level is good, what level is excellent, and things you can do to make your work stand out. You can use Google to look up different collages and different artists. Try some of their techniques. Try some of the little bits that you see. Don't copy the whole thing. Contact me or post a discussion. When I finish the whole recording, obviously I'm not going to show you the full PowerPoint. I just stop the recording and close this screen. Then with any PowerPoint, I just go back to the beginning and I can view the slideshow. And it'll automatically now start to play through for me from whatever part I put it on. And it'll automatically show me step by step what recordings I've made. So obviously if there are any mistakes in there, I can pick the slide I want, go back to the recording, and then I can clear the timing on that slide and clear the narration on that slide also. Different artists, try some of their techniques, try some of the little bits that with this one, I actually made the PowerPoint so I could fit my face down in the right-hand corner. But if your PowerPoint doesn't fit that, you can just move the video around, and the same as any other shape in PowerPoint, you can add effects to it. So you can add outlines or you can add a glow, and you can make it the focus of the screen. You can also make it bigger if you need to. When you're happy with the PowerPoint and you're ready to save it as a video, you can then go to the settings and do that. So what you need to do, you need to go to File and then Export. Now this gives you the option to create a video. In there, you want to check that you're doing it at HD and that you're following narrations and timing set out. You can then save the video. Choose somewhere obviously appropriate to save it, name it as you want, and then click Save. And once it finishes rendering out, it will be saved in that folder. So here's my final video. Hello everyone and welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to be looking at mixed media collage, and we're going to look at how we can make a creative collage all about whales. So before we start, what is a collage? Well, if you look online, the description is as so. A piece of art made by sticking various different materials such as photographs and pieces of paper or fabric onto a backing. Now for me, I think it should be a little bit more than that. So I've said that this could also include drawing, painting, other art materials such as oil pastel or charcoal if you have them. You could use stitching by stitching into paper. You could use origami and even writing. Now if it comes to writing, try to be creative. It could be fancy handwriting, it could be bubble writing, or it could be cut out letters from newspapers. Try to think away from just normal writing. I've got a few examples here for you. So these are very different examples. The one on the left is very carefully cut out. If you look around the outside of each image, there's no white left, there's no jagged edges. And if we look at how it's stuck down, so for example, we look at the headphones at the top, some is stuck underneath the target and others are stuck above the target. And this gives us a sense of depth. And the way this has all been layered together then makes it feel like it's quite a deep image. And they also use the lady at the bottom who's in black and white, and that causes a bit of contrast because she's black and white, the rest of it is all colour exploding out of her head, or as they want it to look. Now that really serves a good purpose to make things stand out. On the right hand side we've got a very different one. The colours in this one are quite limited, so you've got a bit of green, orange and red, and that's about it. Now around the outside of the man, they've not cut out very neatly, they've purposely left sharp edges and they've left a gap. Now this is to make a bit more of a geometric shape, so they've looked at something a bit different. They've also, at the top, used text from a newspaper, and that adds a bit of context as well, so you're already thinking this is a bit of an adventure. These are some of the things you could use in your creative collage. Now these examples are a lot different. These are paintings and drawings from different Welsh artists and some collages as well. Now I've shown you these because your collage doesn't have to just be cutouts. It could have painting, it could have drawing. You could work over the top in different materials. If we look at the collage down in the bottom left with the little yellow bird, the background of this has obviously been done with a pen or paint wash. Also, on the top, you've got black outlines that have been created using a marker pen. You've got magazine clippings. You've got text from newspapers, but there's also handwritten text as well. The daffodils on the right, even though they've been cut out from a magazine, the artist has carefully chosen different shades of the same yellow to add depth to this. And in the stalks, you're seeing lots and lots of different types of green, probably cut out from photographs. Now, if you want some other examples, in the team, you've got a files section. And in that file section, I've added a Word document filled with examples of creative collages. So I'll show you what that looks like. So in this video, you can see just a few examples that I've added to that document to help you. So there's some with drawings, there's some that have added paint. This one in particular looks splatters and handwriting. There's lots and lots of different ideas there for you. And that's not for you to copy them all, but for you to take some ideas from them and turn them into your own creative collages. Make these as interesting as you possibly can. So, today's task. You need to create a mixed media collage about Wales and what it means to be Welsh. Your success criteria or your instructions, they say that you must use photographs, drawings, paintings and collages of all things Welsh. Draw from photographs or from life and add them to your collage. That could be a drawing from your bedroom window or your back garden, or you could even draw from photographs. Use words in a different way, so don't just write out on there. Use newspaper cuttings, bubble writing, calligraphy, anything you can think of that'll make it more creative. So you could add to this some descriptions, some poems, some stories from Wales, and you could research these online. And then you could add them in a creative way as well. So you could draw them over things, or you could stamp them on, or you could maybe type the text out on a computer and then cut it out and trace it. It's entirely up to you. I want you to show off your artistic skills using as many materials as possible. Add textures and tactile elements. So if you've got material hanging around the house, you could use some of that. Anything fluffy, anything rough, sandpaper even. You could use filler to add texture. You could use thick paint. Anything that's going to make this stand out a little bit more. And then make it clear that your piece is all about Wales and the different things in the country. So you don't want to see a collage that's just all about dragons or all about daffodils. There are lots and lots of elements to Wales. What can you include that's really going to show off what Wales is really like and what it means to you? Make it personal. Okay, if you have photographs you can use, if you want to take photographs or talk about stories from your family, you can add elements of this into your collage. The idea is that when we look at it as a whole, we'll be able to see all sorts of different types and different parts of Wales as one, using lots of different materials. And when it comes to submitting this work, you're going to submit it online. So you'll need to submit a photograph of your work using Teams, and you'll find the submission page under the assignment Creative Welsh Collage. Now I've got a video for you showing how you access Teams and how you upload a piece of work. But remember, this is just an example. This isn't actually your Welsh collage. You'll have to look out for that in your own team. Now this video will show you exactly how to do that. So first of all, you need to open up Chrome. And make sure it's Google Chrome, not Internet Explorer, because it doesn't work as well. Put into your search pontypriddhighschool.co.uk and then find your way to the school website. Again, remember that you use Chrome because Teams will work better using Chrome. Once you're on the school website, the top right hand corner, Office 365. You can log into this using your school account. So it's your account at pontyhigh.co.uk. And then enter your password. It's the same as your password for logging in school. It'll ask you if you want to stay signed in. It's up to you what option you choose. And when you come to the menu, you need to go to Teams. When Teams is open, you'll be able to access your own Teams from there. Your teacher will have added you to that class. Now there are two ways of doing this. One, you can click Teams on the left hand side, find the team that you want and then open that up. When you've opened it up, you can go to assignments up in the top right hand corner, and that will show you what assignments you've got. So this one's an example. But you can also go to assignments on the left hand side, and then you can find the team that you want. And once you've opened up that team, it will show you assignments from that team. Remember, your teams are going to be your classes and subjects. Now, when you click on your assignment, it will look like this. You'll have instructions, you may have a rubric, and you may have lots of different resources to help you with that. Now, I'm going back into this from the other way, which doesn't make any difference, but just to show you. When I come to add work, I'm going to click add work at the bottom, and then I'm going to say upload from this device. So I'm going to find an example of a photograph. I'm going to upload it. Once I'm done, I click done, and then that will put it in. But I can also add more work if I want. So the following one is going to show add in a PowerPoint and then add in a Word document as well, as you may have more than one piece of work to submit for a task. So I can keep going through this, and I can keep finding the files I want, make sure they're named properly, and then continue to upload them. When they're uploaded, I can click the options, which are on the right hand side in the three dots, and I can delete some if I don't want them. I can download them, or I can open them online. And when I'm done, I'm going to click hand in. I'll get a little animation, and that animation tells me that I've uploaded it properly. So what do you need to do for help or guidance? If you want something extra, there's a few things. Firstly, you can log into Teams. In Teams, you can access the success criteria rubric, which will show you what level is good, what level is excellent, and things you can do to make your work stand out. You can use Google to look up different collages and different artists. Try some of their techniques. Try some of the little bits that you see. Don't copy the whole thing. Contact me or post a discussion in the team. You might find that other pupils have really good ideas that could help you. Look at YouTube videos, look for tutorials on how to create collages or how to use mixed media. You can also look up drawing and painting tutorials because you might want to learn a different technique to add to your collage. Keep doing this because this will really improve your work. And then check out the file section in your team. There you can find lots of different resources that will help you. For example, the Word document that I showed you earlier, but there'll also be other things there that can help you along with your work. Now, I'm sure that's a lot to take in, so if you need to watch the video again, then please feel free to do so. But just make sure that you're being creative, you're showing off your skills, showing as many materials as possible, and essentially making the most Welsh collage you possibly can. Good luck, and I'll see you soon. Now, when it comes to uploading to Teams, unfortunately the file will be too big, so you need to upload it to YouTube first. Now, YouTube has a setting that you can set these as private links, so only the pupils with links can actually access them. That way they're not live on the internet for anybody to see. This is me logging into YouTube, and we've actually got a PHS YouTube channel called Tutorials and Guidance, and we've actually started putting different videos on there that are linked to teaching and learning. So it might be a good idea if we all make these videos that we keep them in the same place. They can then go under different playlists for the different subjects or classes or whatever, however we see fit to organize those. Now, once you've logged in, and I can give you the login details to this, just click add video at the top and then start uploading your video. Now, this, I'm sure most of you know how to do this anyway. So you select the file, you choose the video that you've recorded, and then you allow it to upload. Now, from here, I've just copied from my own PowerPoint. I've copied all the tasks and just put that in the description so it's there for the pupils. When you're done editing all the text, you can then select the playlist at the bottom. Now, there's not many playlists at the moment, so you can choose to make a new playlist for your own subject or your own classes. I've then just scrolled through the settings just to check that everything's correct. I've also clicked this to say that it's for kids because that stops the advertising coming through if there's anything inappropriate or not suitable to their age range. So YouTube monitor this and they'll make sure that it's safe for the pupils. I then click next. I don't really want to mess around with the video elements too much, so I'm just going to leave this page and move on. And then I change it to unlisted. So this means that it won't be listed anywhere on the internet. It's only people with a direct link who can have access to the video. And then I just wait for it to finish uploading. Once it's uploaded, I can click on the videos and I can click the little menu button and I can use that to get a shareable link that I can give to the pupils. So for the purposes of this, I'm just going to save it into a Word document. But for you guys, you'll probably have everything open anyway, so you can just copy and paste it straight into Teams. Now, setting up an assignment in Teams is actually quite straightforward. So, first of all, you just need to log yourself in and get your class up. For this one, I'm just using an example team. So when I've got the team up, I go over to Assignments at the top in the menu, and then I've got the option to create an assignment. So I'm going to create the assignment, and it's pretty straightforward from here. I put the title in, and then in the description, I've decided to add the link for the YouTube video. Now remember, with Teams, you can't copy and paste with the mouse. You've got to use the shortcuts. So it's Control and C to copy, Control V to paste. From there, I've just gone back to my PowerPoint and then I've taken success criteria from there and I've copied it back in just so there's doubling up for the pupils. I then edit that because obviously it doesn't set up as it should, and I just make it look a bit better. Now, if you've got resources to add, worksheets or help guides, you can just click Add Resources at the bottom, click on Upload from this device, find the resources that you want, and then you can upload them. So when the pupils log in, they'll be able to see those resources and download them. It could be things that they download and then have to fill in. Down the bottom, I can choose the team I want to set this to, but it's automatically my example team. And then I can choose students. So I can either leave it as all students, or if it was differentiated work, I could choose the students that I wanted to send it to. I can then choose the assignment date, so when I want the hand in, and I can check the time as well. Now I can click the edit button at the bottom to actually schedule this ready for another time. So I can do them in advance and I can choose when I want them to go out, when I want them to be in. So you could spend a few hours setting this up and you wouldn't have to worry about it for a few weeks. When you've got all of that set up and you're happy with how it is, for this I'm just setting it to one pupil, my Joe Blogs pupil, so that I can then show you how that pupil accesses it. But when I'm done, I just click Assign up in the top right hand corner and that will send it out to all pupils. Once I've assigned it, I can then see all my assignments for that class in the list. I can click on the assignment and then I can go up to the top and I can go to student view, so I can actually see what the pupils will see when they log in. And so it will look like this, and then obviously down the bottom any resources I've added they can download from there. I can click on grades and I can see which ones I've actually had handed in, and it will tell me who's turned it in, whether they've turned it in late. And from there, I can go back to my assignments so I can see all the other assignments and I can manage them and send them out as I need from that screen. And from a pupil's perspective, theirs looks slightly different. And I think we need to see that so we can actually move on. So they would go to the school website the same as we would, and they would log in using their username. Now it's their username at pontyhigh.co.uk, and they should all have login passwords they use at school, and they would use the same password to get into Teams. I'll also re-record this for the pupils so they can see how they need to log in and how they can hand in assignments. So when a pupil logs into Teams, they're going to log in the same way as we do. They find their class or their subject, and then once they go into that, they'll be able to see their assignments. Now they'll see this in exactly the same way as we see it on our student view. So they'll click on their assignment, and then it will show them what the task is, what resources are there. Again, for them to view that video, they'll have to copy and paste that link into a new tab, and they'll have to use Control C and Control V to do that. When they paste it into the new tab, they can then see that video. But remember, it is private. It's only because they've got that link. Nobody else can access this. Once they've looked at the task, they can then either decide to open the different documents in Word Online or in Word, or they can download them to their computer. So the work you're setting could be worksheets for them to fill in. So then they could fill that in, they could save it, and they could re-upload it to you. They can also go to the file section and you can manage this from your teams. So you could add folders with more resources in there rather than adding individual resources to each assignment. You could put them under topics or headings that make them easier to access. When they're happy with the work, they then click on their assignment and they click Add Work at the bottom. This then allows them to upload from their device either photographs of their work or the completed documents, and they can then send them across to you. Once their work has all been uploaded, they can manage it from there, and then they can click Hand In, and it'll give them a little animation just showing them that it's been successfully handed in. So once the pupils have handed it in, it will send through to your teams, and you can then give them feedback on any submitted work. So again, just go to Teams, get up the team that you need, and then go to your assignments. So you can see on the right hand side, it'll tell you how many pupils have turned this in. You can then click on the assignment and it'll show you how many you've got to grade. So just click the turned in and that will show you the work that they've submitted to you. And on the right hand side, you can see a list. There may be more than one thing. You've then got a feedback box that you can type in your feedback and then you can return the work to them with your feedback. When you've returned the work, you can close it and then it'll tell you that you've actually graded that one and it'll show you which ones you've graded and there'll be a little tick. If you want to review the feedback, you can just click the plus underneath the feedback title. I hope this has been useful, and if you need anything else, please just let me know.